I used to believe the divorce papers were the worst part, that I was wrong. Because 6 months after my ex-wife dismantled my life piece by piece, on a sticky Tuesday evening when the air itself felt heavy, her younger sister stood at my door. Pink dress, shaking hands, tears she clearly hadn't planned to show. And in less than 30 seconds, she whispered something that didn't just reopen old wounds. It set off a chain reaction I still can't escape. My name is William, and until recently, I thought betrayal had limits. I lived in a quiet 2-story house in the suburbs of Charlotte, North Carolina. I had a steady career in commercial real estate. A marriage I believed was solid, predictable, safe. But life has a brutal way of teaching you how wrong you are only after it takes everything you thought was unbreakable. Before I continue, let me say this: if you've ever felt blindsided by someone you trusted, if you've ever replayed a moment in your head, wondering what you missed, then you owe it to yourself to stay for this story. And if stories like this matter to you, stories people are afraid to tell, don't watch silently and disappear. Subscribe, because every time you don't, this kind of truth gets buried, and the people who need it most never find it. Now let me tell you what really happened. Finally, she sat down at my kitchen table, her fingers twisting nervously together. I remained standing, arms crossed, maintaining distance. Control was all I had left. The divorce had been brutal. Not the kind you see in movies where two people cry and admit they've grown apart. This was scorched earth. Johnny had come at me with accusations of emotional neglect, of being unavailable, of caring more about my career than our marriage. Her lawyer painted me as a monster. And the worst part? Some of it stuck. Friends show sides. My family questioned me. My reputation took hits I'm still recovering from. Johnny was beautiful. The kind of beauty that walks into a room and changes the oxygen. Magnetic. Sharp. When she wanted you, you felt like the only person alive. But that magnetism had a dark side. Possessive, manipulative, ultimately toxic. She needed to be adored constantly, and when I couldn't keep up with her demands, I became the enemy. I thought we had everything. A future, plans, love. But what I actually had were ruins disguised as life, and I'd been too blind to see the cracks. I wasn't healing. I was surviving. There's a difference. My anger had gone cold months ago, burned so deep it looked calm. Rebecca hadn't moved from the table. She sat there, silent, gathering courage, or maybe just trying to find the right words. I should have asked what she wanted. Should have demanded she get to the point. But something kept me quiet, a dread that whatever she was about to say would change everything. She never came to see me. Not once. Not during the marriage, when I was part of the family. Not after, when I became the villain in Johnny's carefully crafted narrative. At holiday dinners, she'd offer polite smiles and one-word answers. At birthdays, she'd stay in corners, observing but never participating. I used to think she was just shy. Now I wondered if she'd been watching something the rest of us missed. And yet here she was, in my kitchen, in that soft pink dress that seemed too elegant for a Tuesday night. Mascara streaked down her face like she'd been crying for hours. Her hands shook as they rested on the table. "William," she said again, her voice steadier now but still fragile. "I know I have no right to be here. I know you probably hate anyone with Johnny's last name. But please, just listen." I stayed silent, waiting. She took a shaky breath. "It's about Johnny, about the divorce, about everything." My chest tightened. "Then say it." Rebecca's eyes filled with fresh tears. "I shouldn't be here. She'll never forgive me for this. But I can't. I can't keep carrying it anymore. Rebecca." My voice came out harder than I intended. "Just say it." She flinched but held my gaze. "Johnny was having an affair. Before the divorce. Long before. Maybe even 2 years before you separated." The room tilted. My vision blurred at the edges. I gripped the counter behind me, knuckles white. "She what?" "There is someone else," Rebecca whispered, tears streaming now. "The whole time she was accusing you of neglect, of not being present, she was with him. And when you started questioning things, when you got too close to the truth, she flipped it, made you the villain. Tell everyone you were emotionally abusive, unavailable, that you drove her away." My fists clenched so hard my nails cut into my palms. You're telling me everything, the lawyers, the accusations, my reputation. It was all a lie, Rebecca choked out. She manipulated everything to protect herself. And I knew, William. I knew, and I said nothing. I'm so sorry. I should have told you sooner. Rebecca's words kept coming, each one a knife twisting deeper. The late nights, she said, were work events. She was with him. The girls' weekends in Charleston. He was there. That conference in Atlanta where she came back cold and distant. That's when I think it got serious. Memories flooded back, recontextualized. Johnny on her phone at dinner, smiling at something before quickly putting it away. Just work, she'd said. The sudden interest in her appearance, new perfume, expensive lingerie I never saw her wear. I'm doing this for me, she'd insisted. The way she'd pull away when I touched her, like my hands were contaminated. I'm just tired, William. Everything was a lie. I tried to tell her to stop, Rebecca continued, her voice breaking. I begged her to just end it with you honestly. But she said you'd take everything in the divorce, that she deserved better, that you were... She stopped, unable to finish. Why now? I demanded. Why are you telling me this now? Because I can't carry it anymore, she whispered. And because you deserve the truth. You always did. I stared at her, something dark stirring inside me. Did you come here to help me, or to hurt her? Her silence was deafening. Rebecca started coming back. Once a week, then twice. She'd bring more details, names, dates, and evidence she'd been quietly collecting. Text messages she'd seen on Johnny's phone. Conversations overheard at family dinners. Each visit peeled back another layer of deception. My obsession grew. I needed to know everything. Every lie. Every moment I'd been blind. But something else was growing too. The way Rebecca listened when I raged. How she stayed quiet when I needed silence. The understanding in her eyes. She'd watched Johnny destroy me and carried that guilt like stones in her pockets. One evening, reaching for the same document, our hands touched. Neither of us pulled away. The air changed. Charged. I always thought she didn't deserve you, Rebecca whispered. I looked at her, really looked. She was beautiful in a way Johnny never was. Genuine. Present. Everything my ex-wife wasn't. She leaned closer. So did I. Then she pulled back, eyes glistening. Not like this, William. Not if it's just to hurt her. What if it's not? My voice was rough. Then we wait, she said firmly, until we know for sure. But I already knew. If I crossed this line, there was no going back. 2 weeks later, I made my decision. I needed to confront Johnny. Face to face. No lawyers. No intermediaries. Just the truth. Rebecca's face went pale when I told her. She'll know it was me. She'll know I told you everything. Then I'll protect you, I said firmly. Whatever happens. Ow! Her voice cracked. You don't know what she's capable of. She'll turn the whole family against me. She'll. Let her try. I stepped closer. I'm done being afraid of her. Rebecca looked up at me, vulnerable in a way I'd never seen. What happens to us after this? The question hung between us, heavy with implications. I don't know, I admitted. But I know I can't keep living in her shadow. And neither can you. That night, we sat on my porch as darkness fell. Rebecca finally spoke about what we'd both been avoiding. I didn't come to you for this, she whispered. I didn't come hoping for whatever this is. I came because you were drowning and I couldn't watch anymore. I came because someone needed to tell you the truth. I know, I said softly. Our eyes met. And for the first time, it wasn't about Johnny. It was just us. I met Johnny at a coffee shop downtown. Neutral ground. Public enough to keep things civil. She walked in looking stunning, as always, designer sunglasses, perfect hair, that confident stride. When she saw me, surprise flickered across her face before settling into cool defensiveness. William, this is unexpected. Sit down, Johnny. She did, eyebrows raised. What's this about? I know about the affair, I said calmly. I know it started years before the divorce. I know you manipulated everything to make me look like the villain. I know about the lies you spread. All of it. Her face went white, then red. That's ridiculous. Who told you? She stopped. Understanding dawned. Rebecca. Her voice turned venomous. That little traitor. She told me the truth. Something you've never done. Johnny leaned forward, eyes flashing. You think you can use this? Do you think anyone will believe you over me? I don't care, I said, standing. You don't get to hurt me anymore. And you don't get to hurt her either. Johnny laughed bitterly. You think you and my sister have a future? You're pathetic, William. I walked away without looking back. For the first time in months, I felt free. Rebecca was waiting at my house, pacing the living room. When I walked in, she spun around, eyes wide with fear. She knows, I said quietly. She knows it was you. Rebecca's hand flew to her mouth. William, she can't touch you. Not anymore. You don't understand. She'll. Let her try. I moved closer. Rebecca, I need to know something. Was any of this real? Or was it just revenge? She looked at me like I'd struck her. How can you ask me that? Because I need to know. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I've watched you for years, William. Through my sister's eyes first, then through my own. At family dinners, holidays, all those moments. I saw the man she was destroying. The man she couldn't see. The man she didn't deserve. My throat tightened. I'm terrified this is real. That I'll hurt you. That I'm too broken for this. Rebecca stepped forward, taking my hands in hers. Then let's be broken together. And heal slowly. No expectations. No pressure. Just honesty. I pulled her close, breathing her in. This wasn't revenge. It didn't rebound. It was something genuine growing from the ruins. Slowly, I whispered. Slowly, she agreed. Months later, the house no longer felt like a place where memories came to die. The silence had softened. Not gone, but gentler. Lived in. Rebecca didn't arrive like a storm or a solution. She came slowly. Careful. Respectful of the damage that still lived in the walls. She didn't try to replace Johnny. She never could have. What we built was something else, entirely something honest. Some nights it was just dinner. 2 plates. Soft music. Laughter that surprised us both when it escaped. No performances. No pretending. Just peace. And I realized something that took me far too long to understand. The truth didn't set me free. Confronting it did. Rebecca wasn't there out of guilt. Or rebellion. Or revenge. She was there because she chose to be. And because I finally chose myself. Sometimes the person who saves you is the one who had the courage to tell you the truth, even when it cost them everything. Love isn't always where you expect it. Sometimes it's in the person who saw your pain, didn't look away, and decided to carry it with you. 2 people. Scarred. Wiser. Still standing, building something real.